before we go further, I would like to play for you a short video of what therapeutic plasma exchange is all about.
Therapeutic plasma exchange, or TPE, refers to a specialized medical procedure in which blood separation technology is used to remove abnormal plasma constituents. Whole blood is removed from the patient into a blood cell separator, which utilizes centrifugal forces to separate whole blood into its individual components: plasma, platelets, white blood cells, and red blood cells. Plasma can be removed and replaced with physiologic fluids to treat relatively uncommon but usually life-threatening diseases.
So I suggested that we use 5% albumin in our study, since we have done so far that, and I am glad to say that successfully in terms of not creating any side effects. Albumin has a variety of properties that we have shown, and others as well. It's the most powerful antioxidant in the body. It has an anti-inflammatory effect, and it has an immunomodulatory effect as well. We were able to show in humans, with the help of the Comboy's laboratory, that the plasmapheresis procedure affects the entire immune system, as well as causing DNA change as well. So we have epigenetic evidence. So we published this and in several papers. And the problem with our initial study was that we didn't have enough numbers. This was done in only 6 patients in a short period of time. And it was an uncontrolled study. And all the results came from one single laboratory. So based on that, we designed a double-blind placebo-controlled study in therapeutic apheresis in individuals over 50. This is known as the lifespan study. And I'm going to present some data for you here. Study design involved 40 patients divided into 4 groups. And in group A, we used albumin plus a secret ingredient. All these patients underwent 2 treatments in 1 week and came back 3 months to repeat the same treatment. So all in all, they went through 6 treatments. In group B, also 10 patients. This group received only 5% albumin, and in the same regimen, total of 6 treatments. Group C was the sham pheresis, and they had the same schedule as well, and total 6 treatments in 3 months. In group D, was 1 treatment per month for 6 months. This was actually the original schedule that we had in our first studies. There are many things about the pathophysiology of aging that we still don't understand, if we are honest. To admit, there are, though, several things that we do understand, and we try to address those in our study. One unquestionably is the inflammaging, cellular senescence, of course, and immunosenescence. So we went and gathered information about biomarkers and macroparameters, but most of all, we were interested in the safety of the study. Is this safe? Are there going to be any adverse reactions in any of the groups? Fortunately, we had only one adverse reaction. It was a mild allergic reaction to albumin. During the pandemic, there was shortage of albumin, and we had to change the albumin that we used, and the new albumin caused a side effect in one of the patients. We worked with the Buck Institute to perform the proteomics and the metabolomics studies. The proteomic studies were done in the laboratory of Dr. Schilling. And one thing that we found is that certain proteins are decreased, so they're deregulated, and some proteins are upregulated. You can see here the blue ones are the ones that we remove, the red ones are the ones that go up. Interestingly enough, we got rid of SASP, the senescence-associated secretory phenotype, which is the production of senescent cells, and the damage to the body, including aging, is by this SASP, which contains pro-inflammatory molecules. These are the proteins that were increased, and these were the proteins that were decreased. And I'm going to highlight some of them, and I'll tell you why. You can see here the apolipoproteins, as well as serum amyloid, were decreased. The same was true for the metabolomics. They are done also in the Buck Institute. And as you can see here, the lipids were also removed. So removal of apolipoproteins, amyloid, and lipids is very important because, as you know, people who have circulating apolipoproteins are 60% more prone to develop cardiovascular disease. And one thing that came as a surprise to us was a patient who, before joining the trial, had an ultrasound done at his carotid arteries. And he didn't report to us that because he was afraid that we are not going to accept him in the study. And the result was moderate risk, which basically means that he had a plaque and moderate obstruction of his carotid arteries. After we finished the study, he went and had the ultrasound repeated. As you can see here, the plaques were gone, and his carotids were wide open. So it's a one single case, but it tells a story. We also performed flow cytometry analysis with a very sophisticated machine in Dr. Eric Verdin's laboratory. This is a 5 laser, and it can measure all kinds of parameters, both on the surface of the cell as well as intracellular. So we can see here that the patients who underwent the real treatment had a lot of changes happening to their peripheral blood cells, and the champhoresis very little, if any, change at all. So I'm sure you know that there is a hot topic these days in anti-aging medicine, and that's biologic clocks. I just came back, and some of you too, last week. There was a whole week meeting at the Buck Institute talking about biologic clocks and other anti-aging things. And I was happy to see Dr. Steve Horvath, who is the godfather of the biologic clocks. He was there at the meeting, and we, of course, used his laboratory for some of our testing. And as you can see here, you heard earlier the clock of Grimage, which is very popular now, until something new comes up. Biologic clocks are prone to evolution, so they change all the time. But Grimage is something that's popular, and as you can see here in our treatment groups, the biologic age decreases, and in the sham pheresis increases. We also used through diagnostic, another biologic clock agency. So here you can see again the grim age going down as we move along with the treatments. They did another clock for us, pheno age, it's on the right side, also decreased. So as we were going through these clocks and I was evaluating the data, I came upon this thing. So through diagnostic and Harvard, and everything that comes from Harvard, you know, it's very important. And I called Ryan Smith, the founder of Through Diagnostic, and I said, Ryan, can you run our samples on this new clock? And he said, of course, I will. And it turned out that in our study, the hormonal age was changed as well as the lung change. So this new clock is superior to the others is because it measures not only the biologic age of the person, but individual organs. And in our study, it turns out that the lungs were younger than the placebo group. So what we were able to show with these tests that we affect, the plasmapheresis affects just about every aspect, physiologic aspect of aging, inflammation, cellular senescence, immunosenescence. And we change this old milieu, this toxic plasma that accumulates with age, and create a new, healthier systemic milieu. So in addition to these biomarkers, we use macro parameters. So we used strength, balance, speed of walking, and that's after that you use a chronometer for the speed. And these are the results in group A. As you can see here, the strength increases, the speed increases, the line goes down because the speed increases, and then the balance increases as well. And we use an interesting test where patients answer questions, 12 questions, and this goes to a machine learning, and it gives you an answer. So their overall health improved through this system, as well as their psychological, emotional health as well. And this is the group B, another group, the same result. And this is the sham, just the opposite. Although there was a placebo effect here, there is increase in the hand grip, but it's not statistically significant. Interestingly, there was a dramatic decrease in overall health and emotional health as well. And at the end of the day, we asked people, how do they feel?
I felt incredible after the procedure. I felt I had more energy, woke up feeling less achy. Just overall felt really good. A big difference.
I've wrapped up my 6th treatment here at the clinic, and I tell you, my life has kind of changed after I started here. I think it's after my 4th treatment, I felt such stamina and, my God, my strength level. I can open jars now, where I couldn't before. You know, when you get older, it's really hard to open. I'd have to ask my husband. But now I can open my jar and open my vitamin pills. If I had a big day where I had to be very active, I would be shuffling myself to the bed, and I'd have to take a pain pill at night. But I haven't had anything for 3 months now. I haven't needed it. My pain is gone, actually. I had pain in my hand and my legs, and I don't know how to thank you.
So the idea is to die as young as possible, as late as possible.